Brian Hill, we're here at Rehab United. This is Chris Wolfinger, physical therapist as well. And one of the things that is kind of up and coming right now, highlighted after the Olympics, is cupping. But we wanted to give a practical purpose of why we've used it far before this Olympics and how it's used for scar mob and so on and so forth. So Chris is going to take you through kind of 3 different techniques that we use and what they're used for, and then if you find a value or you have surgery or anything that lies with the things that we're discussing today, certainly come on in, check us out, and we're happy to help you. So Chris is going to let us know.
So for example here, we'll just say Brian is coming in with a knee injury. First one, we'll say he's got post-operative scar tissue that we want to try to break up. So usually what I'll have him do is I'll have him flex his knee here. That way we kind of shorten that tissue. We'll apply the cup. I usually do about 2 to 3 pumps, raise the skin up a little bit. And what I'll have them do is I'll have them maximally flex and extend while that cup is on. Try to get more of an active release through that scar tissue. Usually have them go about 10. Even though he doesn't have a scar, you can see some discoloration starting. I usually won't move the cup too much. I'll let him do the active movement with this one. So that was more for scar tissue. The next one we could do is for right at the patellar tendon insertion, right below the kneecap. So that can become an area that gets really bound down. So what we could do is the same thing. We'll have him flex his knee a little bit. Kind of suction it.
Small patellas. Get you every time.
There we go. So same thing, about 2 to 3 pumps. And again, sometimes you just have to hold it on there. So again, I want him to go through some active movements. So we'll flex. There we go. Extend. Good. And again, usually go about 10 times. Try to release some of that tissue adhesion that we'll get at the patellar tendon. So for this third and final technique, we're going to hit the rectus femoris, kind of middle of the quad area. This is a lot more of an active cupping technique. So a lot of times we'll get people in here into a Thomas stretch position, which stretches the hip flexors and quads. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply the cup with his knee flexed, stretching the quads. So what we're going to come is we're going to have Brian come to the edge of the table, get him in that Thomas testing position. Go ahead and bring that left leg up. You want to bring the camera around this way. So I'm getting him in this testing position. I can do is I can strip up and down, and you'll actually feel and hear some Rice Krispies, some snap crackle pops through those mild fascial restrictions. Go up and down, keep them in that stretch position, really trying to loosen up some of that tissue.
From a patient's perspective, the feeling of the tissue and the blood flow is noticeable, but as you saw in that last technique, I can feel that tissue, that tightness, that gunk that's in there from a run or workout or whatever. I can actually feel that kind of being removed, which actually feels pretty good. So subjectively as a client, it feels good. It actually feels like we're doing something, so that's positive.
And generally here in a typical treatment session, I'll do this at the beginning of a session, get the tissue nice and warmed up, get it moving right, and then have them go through their exercise program, and hopefully they'll feel a little more mobile and feel like they can get through a bigger range of motion.
What do you talk when you're talking about depths of how much I pump and what the depths are? What are kind of your reasons?
So generally for bigger muscle mass, so like quads, hamstrings, some of the bigger muscle groups.
Big muscle mass.
Maybe not on a patient-to-patient basis, but in general, I'll usually go 2 to 3 pumps, which usually raises the skin maybe a half to a full inch. Smaller areas like the patellar tendon or even scar tissue, I'll maybe just go 1 or 2 pumps, just to get it enough to raise that skin up a little bit and give more space for the scar tissue and other tissues to have more room to breathe and move.
So then there's that scar tissue strategy of breaking up the tissue. There's a healing strategy of bringing new blood flow in and kind of getting rid of toxins, per se.
Yeah.
So these are techniques that we're using on a regular basis, really strategic, but also really beneficial to every individual client based on what's going on in their world and helping them get back to function a lot sooner.
Definitely.
So thanks for checking us out. We're also going to have Sarah talk a little bit about some other tools we use in scar tissue mobility. Thanks so much.
Thank you.